The measuring mistake. Brady the Brachiosaurus loved being the tallest. "I'm taller than 4 kids stacked up," he'd boast. Then he met a tiny Compsognathus. "Big deal," squeaked the small dino. "I can hide from danger and find the tastiest bugs in the smallest spaces. You can't do that." Brady realized that every size has its superpower. أعطني قصة طويلة من هذه الفكرة بالإنجليزية. Astuce. Demandez à Gemini d'affiner les images. Avec la génération d'images dans Gemini, votre imagination est la seule limite. Si le résultat ne correspond pas à vos attentes, ajoutez des détails à votre prompt. Plus vous serez précis, plus Gemini pourra créer des images qui reflètent votre vision. The measuring mistake. Brady the Brachiosaurus loved, more than anything, being the tallest creature in the entire valley. He would stretch his long neck, surveying the treetops, and let out a triumphant trumpet. "Look at me," he'd boast to anyone who would listen, which was usually just the leaves he was munching on. "I'm taller than 4 kids stacked up. I can see over the tallest bushes and no berry is too high for me to reach." His enormous shadow often fell over smaller dinosaurs who would politely nod and then scamper off, tired of hearing about his height. Brady didn't mind. He just continued to enjoy his lofty view. One sunny afternoon, as Brady was happily stripping leaves from a particularly tall tree, he heard a tiny, squeaky voice from below. "Excuse me, Mr. Tall Dino?" Brady craned his neck downwards, looking for the source of the sound. It took him a moment to spot a creature no bigger than his toenail, a minuscule Compsognathus with bright, beady eyes, peeking out from behind a fallen log. "Oh, hello there," Brady rumbled, his voice like distant thunder. "What can I do for you, little one?" The Compsognathus, whose name was Pip, puffed out his tiny chest. "You're always going on about how tall you are," he squeaked. "Big deal." Brady blinked. No one had ever said "big deal" about his height before. He was usually met with awe, or at least polite agreement. "Big deal," he repeated, a little offended. "I am taller than 4 kids stacked up, you know." Pip scampered onto a small rock, making himself as tall as possible, which still wasn't very tall at all. "So what?" he chirped. "I can do things you can't. You can't hide from danger by squeezing into tiny crevices, can you? You can't find the tastiest, juiciest bugs hidden under the smallest rocks, can you? You probably just step on them." Brady considered this. He tried to imagine hiding in a small crevice or trying to find a tiny bug. It was impossible. His foot alone was bigger than most hiding spots, and he'd never even noticed the bugs Pip was talking about. His world was full of towering trees and vast landscapes, not miniature nooks and crannies. "And when a big, scary predator comes along," Pip continued, "I can zip into a tiny hole and be safe. You just stand there, waiting to be seen." Brady suddenly felt a little less proud of his height. It was true, his size made him a very obvious target. He couldn't hide, and he realized that while he could reach the highest leaves, he missed out on all the fascinating little things happening on the ground. He'd never tasted a juicy beetle, or seen the intricate patterns on a tiny mushroom that grew in the shade of a rock. A thoughtful silence passed between the gigantic Brachiosaurus and the minuscule Compsognathus. Finally, Brady lowered his head, not quite to Pip's level, but much closer than usual. "You're right, Pip," he said, a new tone in his voice. "I can't do any of those things. But you can't reach the sun-drenched berries at the top of the tallest tree, can you?" "Nope," Pip admitted, shaking his head. "And I can't see the whole valley at once like you do." A smile slowly spread across Brady's long face. "So, we both have our own special abilities, don't we?" he said. "Every size has its superpower." Pip grinned. "Exactly. We're both super, just in different ways." From that day on, Brady still enjoyed being tall, but he didn't boast quite as much. He often had fascinating conversations with Pip, learning about the hidden wonders of the forest floor, while Pip, in turn, loved hearing Brady's descriptions of the world from above. They became the unlikeliest of friends, a towering Brachiosaurus and a tiny Compsognathus, both proud of their own unique superpowers.